This Leo full moon is gearing up to be one of the spiciest full moons of 2026. This full moon will have us and many others being unapologetically authentic at the cost of their social acceptance. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Hummingbird Arcana Podcast. I am Jo Hummingbird. I'm an Evolutionary Astrologer, Usui Reiki Master, and Tarot and Oracle Card Specialist, and I'm here to awaken you to your Cosmic Divinity. Today, I want to talk to you about the upcoming Leo full moon that we have happening on Sunday, February 1st at exactly 4:09 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is at 16:09 CST if you use military time. But this one, I know I talked a lot about the Capricorn new moon being kind of crazy, and we talked about the Cancer full moon being a lot emotionally. But if you know anything about Leo, it is the ruler of drama and flair and play and laughter and joy and fun in astrology. So, as much as we would think that this would be like a light and joy filled full moon, this isn't necessarily going to be that for us. This is going to be a time, because we have lots of oppositional energy with the Aquarius season gearing up to make this super dense and super frustrating, but requiring us to be authentic and to do the things that make us feel uncomfortable for the sake of doing what's right. So if you're interested in learning more about this Leo full moon, then keep on listening to this episode of Hummingbird Arcana. Have you ever wanted to learn the language of the stars without breaking the bank and without forced AI integrations? Do you want to read your own natal chart with a professional astrologer and with lifetime recorded video replay access in case you can't attend or you forget because life just gets in the way? Then you should absolutely join us for round 3 of my live Astrology Basics Masterclass. Here we will deep dive into the world of astrology, which is the most ancient sister science to both Ayurveda and yoga, and it is considered the precursor to modern day astronomy. In Astrology Basics, we will cover a wide range of beginner astrology topics, such as the types of astrology, the 12 zodiac signs and houses, planets and luminaries, rulerships and modalities, and so much more. I'll even teach you how to read your own natal chart and give you a free virtual goodie bag just for attending. Early bird special discounted pricing is available now through midnight Central Standard Time on Monday, March 2nd. And if you use code ASTRO3 at checkout, I'll give you an extra 10% off of that early bird special discounted price. Grab your spot now because doors close at midnight Central Standard Time on Friday, March 6th. This is without a doubt my favorite masterclass to teach, so I am super excited for round 3, and I cannot wait to see you there. Now, back to Hummingbird Arcana. Okay, to start things off, we obviously know that every full moon means that the sun is opposite the moon, which means the sun is behind us, the moon is in front of us, and then the sun's light bounces off the moon and points back at us to say, hello, we're lighting up the moon. And in the new moon, it's the moon and the sun are on the same side of us, and we don't get to see it because the light's on the other side. So with the full moon, it means, the light of the sun, which is our conscious awareness, our ego, our personality, our characteristics. That light, that life force shines onto the moon and is reflected back to us. And with the moon being in the sign of Leo, the thing that rules the sun, this is very interesting because there's a conversation that happens between the moon and Leo, going into more traditional ancient forms of astrology that talk about Leo being the divine father instead of Capricorn. Now, we just came out of the new moon in Capricorn, which was all about, the parental axis between Cancer and Capricorn energy, which, divine mother, divine father, ancestry versus your legacy. Like, there's a lot that plays into that energy. And at the same time, Leo, because it was the ruler of the sun used to be God, it used to be the father energy, and the moon has always been the mother, the goddess energy. So, during some time in the patriarchal takeover of the world, Saturn got turned into the father figure to be looked up to then kind of match the whole religious weaponization of the father or the male god figure as the all one being God. So it divided up the essence of nature that requires there to be two polarities in which a spectrum floats between, versus there just being one thing and that's the only thing and everything else is derivative of that. So Leo, with the moon being there, this lights up that ancient context of what it means to, have the true godfather energy versus not like a godfather, but not the compound word godfather of a child that is not your father, that is not actually your child or your kin, but a godly father in the sense of the life force in which actually nurtures, the sun provides the photosynthesis to create the fuel for our plants that then fuel us back in return, that we then tend to then grow and then feed us. It's a mutually reciprocal cycle. It's an infinity symbol between it. This, relationship between the sun and the moon, these are the two luminaries, the two balances. This kind of brings back all of the real, true divine father energy from an ancient standpoint that hones in anything remaining from the patriarchal influences of the Capricornian father energy. So, that being said, then the sun obviously rules Leo. And where's the sun during this full moon? It's on the other side of the sky, of course, because how would we have a full moon? But what does that mean when the moon is in Leo? That means the sun is in Aquarius. And what happens when any heavenly body is in a position or a sign, house of its opposition? That means it's in detriment. So, what is the sun in right now? Detriment. That's not great because the ruler of this moon is in detriment and opposing itself in the sky. So, this is creating a energy of like an internalized tension of questioning what's actually authentic or real for you. It's an ego dissolution. It's the lack of structure for your character. It's this removal of what you thought was the most real version of yourself and what you thought you wanted to be, but stepping into the version of who you have to become in order for you to actually feel like you are your soul living out in your human avatar in a way that feels authentic, in a way that feels like it holds integrity or nobility, because Leo is the axis of nobility and authenticity between Aquarius and Leo. Aquarius is the innovative, it's the futurist, it's the weirdo, it's the wacky one, it's the one that's going to be the lone wolf. It is the archetype of the wolf. And then you have the archetype of the lion, or the cat and the dog here. This is, the dog is going to hang out on its own and the cat's going to, go be around other cats. Dogs, they do like being around other dogs most of the time, but they will hunt by themselves and do a lot of things by themselves. They do packs for like wolves, yes, but a lot of the times when you're getting hunted out by a single wolf, it's a lot more scary than a group of them because of the energy behind it, because of the ferocity and the determination of one being versus the shared ease of support because they know they're going to get you with multiple. It's like a determination. It's like a feral, animalistic, hunting, predatory energy versus Leo. It is another hunter. It's a cat. It's a different kind. It's, cats are a lot more dangerous in group settings than they are one-on-one. Like, I feel like in my personal experience with them, as I'm not over here taming lions and wolves, but from an energetic standpoint and from how they operate, this this lion wolf back and forth axis energy, this isn't necessarily a friendly time. This isn't necessarily going to be a time where you get to be all hand-holdy, lovey-dovey with yourself even. It's like, okay, well, this pattern of mine of not being authentic or not saying how I feel is costing me my happiness and my joy over here. And I'm tired of feeling that way because it makes me feel like I'm fucking crazy. This axis of the sun and moon on Leo being highlighted in this way is entirely what this is about. And I'll give you an example because look at the celebrity Shawn Mendes. This is a perfect example of somebody who has the opposite of this axis here. He has a Leo sun with an Aquarius moon. The moon is in detriment in the Saturnian ruled sign of Aquarius. But here we have, in this full moon, we have the sun sign in detriment where the moon is opposing it and where the sun's ruler is. So you take a look at Shawn Mendes. He's very much like this Leo Aquarius energy of, I don't really care what people think about me because I just want to be myself. And even if you're making up an assumption about me or what I do in my free time or who I like or who I love or what I do with those people that I love, it doesn't matter because I'm here for this one thing that makes me happy, which is my music. And this one thing that makes me feel like I can connect to people, even though this experience that I wrote about was super isolating. That's this whole Aquarius Leo axis energy. It's doing the thing that makes you uncomfortable, that puts you in a feeling where you have to rip apart some part of your identity or your ego from a situation or from yourself in order to actually do what is right or authentic to your soul. And in turn, it helps you connect with people to be seen, because this is also the axis of, as much as it's authenticity and unapologeticness and the whole being true to oneself and being unique and, necessarily, I don't know if the word relatable is the word here, but it's the ability to connect and have relation with other people. It's not to be relatable on like a surface level. It's to relate, connect, the interconnection of a relation to somebody. It's not just the simplicity of being like, oh yeah, no, I relate to them. Yeah, we've been through the same thing. It's like, no, I feel you on a soul level because we resonate with the same things. We feel like we're a part of the same tribe on a soul level. Astrology can help us determine the complexities of human relationships in so many different ways, but one of the best ways is through synastry charts. These charts can help us to directly understand what is unfolding between two people in this lifetime and in lifetimes behind us or beyond us. Whether or not they're involved with each other romantically, platonically, ancestrally, professionally, or even otherwise, synastry is still going to be one of the easiest ways to discover the dynamics of different soul connections. And if you want to see what cosmic connection you have with a certain someone in your life or on your mind or in your heart, then head to the link in the description box or in the show notes below to book your synastry chart reading with me today. Now, back to Hummingbird Arcana. Moving into the next part of this, I want to pay attention to all the different planets that we have going on in Aquarius, because as much as this is about the Leo full moon, there's too much going on in Aquarius, and this is like smack dab almost in the middle of Aquarius season. This is like, about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks out of the 4 into Aquarius season. So we have not only the sun in Aquarius for Aquarius season, we have Mercury, we have Venus, we have Mars, and we have Pluto. This is a lot. We've already had Pluto in Aquarius for quite some time, and we will until 2042. That's not going anywhere. We know that. That's going to be a part of every astro reading you hear for the next, give or take 15 years. That math is probably wrong. 16 years. You're going to hear Pluto in Aquarius a lot, and I'm going to touch on it lightly here in a moment, but I want to highlight first that Mercury and Venus will be conjunct. Then we have Mars and Pluto conjunct. Okay? So all of these planets, they're not all at the same point. They're all in the same sign, so they're like in an energy conjunction, but Mercury and Venus are over here in like the end part of Aquarius. Then we have the sun smack dab in the middle, and then we have Pluto and Mars over at the beginning part of Aquarius. Now, with Mercury and Venus, when Mercury goes into Aquarius, this is like cut dry communication, doesn't give a fuck about your feelings, will say the thing that needs to be said. It's not like Sagittarius's way of doing it, where it's like, well, these are my thoughts and my beliefs and my opinions and my experiences, so this is what is true. That's Sag. Aquarius is like, well, this is what the book says, this is what I've experienced, this is what everybody else has told me, this is what I've lived over and over and over again. You're not going to tell me that to my face. Shut the fuck up. Like, Aquarius might not even spare you the breath to even explain that. They might just give you an ugly look and then scoff and walk away. So when Mercury is here in Aquarius, it's not going to suffer fools. And with it being conjunct Venus in Aquarius is like, okay, I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And you're not going to stop me because I'm capable of doing it by myself or in a group setting. And if you want to support me, cool, come along with me. But if you don't, then oh well, bye. I'm going to go do it anyway. It's like Venus in Aquarius is like, well, before enlightenment, I chopped wood and I carried water. After enlightenment, I still chop wood and I carry fucking water. So I sure as hell know how to do it. And you're not going to keep me from doing that if that's what I need to do to survive or do well. Sorry, your feelings don't matter here. Bye-bye. And for them to be together, Mercury and Venus, that's exactly what that conviction is. So then with Mars and Pluto together, Mars in Aquarius is a humanitarian energy, but it's also, Mars in the shadow frequency is war, conflict, aggression, violence, and insurrection. But it being conjunct Pluto, this is the planet of power and wealth and corruption and greed and sex and money and wealth and all these things. So for Mars to be conjunct at the beginning of Aquarius, which Pluto is in fall in Aquarius, it is where humanitarianism goes to die. It's where the belief in innovation in the future and something better, hopes, wishes, dreams, they go to die. Pluto in Aquarius is not some liberation playground like the new age spirituality, the new caged spirituality movement wants to sell you for their coaching programs and their fucking class launches. I do classes and I offer coaching containers too, but I'm not sitting here telling you that you have to listen to me and you have to spiritually bypass your reality in order to get there, and that, if you pay me this money, then the rest of your future is going to be great. No, I'm here to do the work with you, and this work right here, right now, when you're alive in this paradigm today, here, breathing, you, hi, hello, Pluto in Aquarius, Pluto is in fall. Pluto is, again, destruction, death and rebirth, transformation, alchemization. Mars and Pluto both rule Scorpio. This creates an energy square to Aquarius, and when Pluto is in fall in Aquarius, the sign of humanitarianism, innovation, the future, hopes, dreams, things we've already talked about, this is where corruption and greed completely take over humanity. Not in the sense that everybody's going to be walking around as a zombie to the top 1%, but this is where the top 1% will definitely try to destroy a lot of things. And with Mercury and Venus there in Aquarius already, it's like, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. I'm going to do it anyway because it's worked for me in the past. And it's exactly what a Saturnian ruled sign of Aquarius would say, especially with it modernly influenced by Uranus, which is unexpected change, chaos, and unpredictability. So then you have the sun in detriment by rulership here. We have the moon in Leo, the ruler of the sun, which creates a mutual reciprocity between detriments, which is a debility. So this full moon is not gearing up to be a happy one. This is not gearing up to be like, oh, I'm so in love with my life right now. Because at the same time, we still have Saturn in Pisces. We have it not at the anaretic degree of 29, we have it at 28 degrees Pisces, but Neptune will have already moved into Aries. So that will have put a Martian influence over Pisces already because its modern ruler, Neptune, will have moved into Aries. And what is going on with Mars, the ruler of Aries? It's conjunct what? Oh yes, Pluto fall in Aquarius, highlighting this moon even further. So I just want to urge you that this is not going to be a time to be like, oh, la-di-da-di-da, I'm just going to do what I want, and it's going to be authentic to me, and I'm a badass bitch. Like, yeah, do that if you can, if you're not in a place in the world where it's going to cost you your life. But if you're anywhere with political unrest right now, I would lay low this full moon. I'm going to be honest. I would do the right thing for yourself. If you're going to stand up and, defend what is right, do it within your own means and within what you feel called to do. But at the same time, if you know that you're in danger, do what's right for you. This is not a full moon to be manifesting. This is not a full moon to be letting go of things. This is not a full moon to be petitioning and journaling and like Pinterest boarding and doing all that crazy shit from a consumerist standpoint. This is a time to be taking real practical action that stands in the way of what gives you a fulfilling, authentic, joyful life long term. Because there is Saturnian influence with Aquarius here on a traditional standpoint. So I don't want us to just get stuck in the Urania of it all, because there is, with Uranus being in its fall position in Taurus currently, we do have this weird, Uranus is also squaring Aquarius by sign right now, and Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. So for it to be in fall in Taurus and squaring at the same time, it's like, dude, what the fuck? How, from any angle possible, is anything going to get done from a sense of progress and from a sense of moving things forward for the future of the world if all this corruption around us is like crumbling everything before our very eyes? So this full moon isn't inviting you to do the thing that makes you giggle, hee hee ha ha, and make money. This is the thing that requires you to get real about what you're doing, why you're doing it, and where you're going, what you're going to do moving forward, who you're going to be, what kind of world you want to live in, and what you stand for. What are your morals? What are your values? What do you want to be seen and known for? Versus what do you want your reputation to be? It's what are you going to do versus who do you want to be known as? This is being unapologetically authentic at the cost of social acceptance. This isn't a time to be playing footsie with people and people pleasing anymore for the sake of survival. This is going to be the time where you get honest and real about what's going on in the world, in your life around you, in your neighborhood, in your home, in your fucking personal life, in your relationships, in your school, in your work, and fucking everything, everywhere. And you're going to have to look at it and be like, okay, this is really uncomfortable to look at, and it's really disgusting, it's really hurtful, depending on what situation you're looking at. But the density of that does not define your humanity. It reminds you of it. So if you can look past that situation and you can look into the things that will actually empower you to be able to, step out of the version of yourself that would just accept reality as it is right now and stay complacent or complicit, this is a full moon that really lights up the outdated identities that allow you to hold on to those ways of being that hinder you from pursuing the thing that is right for you or doing the right thing by other people, or all the humanitarian energy that's being conflicted here is really going to be a pressure cooker for a lot of people, especially in the US and in a lot of dictatorial countries right now. There's going to be a lot of pressure put on a lot of people because Aquarius is also the collective. It is the collective consciousness of the group. It's not like the hive mind in the way that like Pisces is. It's like the collective force of essence beyond all of us. Aquarius is like the agreed upon set of social structures in which we can also change to be able to match what we find socially agreeable or acceptable. And so with that being said, all this energy of like the lack of humanitarianism, like the fall and the detriment and the affliction and all this stuff going on here, this isn't a beautiful time for humanity whatsoever. So I would say buckle up and be yourself, hunker down and protect the people that you love, do what's right by yourself and them and others, and be unapologetically yourself as much as you possibly can be while staying safe. So I hope that this episode has brought you some insight and clarity on the upcoming Leo full moon. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed it, then let me know by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on that post notification bell so you're notified every time a new episode or a new video comes out. And if you're listening on a streaming platform, then hey, hi, hello. I would recommend that you leave me a review. I humbly implore you to. And rate the podcast. Let me know what you're thinking of it. Let me know in the comment section of that review what part of the episode you enjoyed, if there's a different episode you enjoyed more, or topics for a new episode or guests that you would like me to have on the show. So with that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and if you want to understand how this Leo full moon will personally affect your cosmic blueprint in your natal chart, then head over to the link in the description to book a session with me. I would be more than happy to look into your chart with you and let you know what's going on for you coming up with this full moon. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to this episode of Hummingbird Arcana. I am Jo Hummingbird. It's always a pleasure to assist you in awakening you to your cosmic divinity. I will see you in the next episode. Many blessings and take care, my friends.